Okay, guys, let's start. Guys, one more thing. Let me add. Okay, so I was saying I requested you guys not to use phone to join the session. You will not understand anything, guys. You won't be able to see. Now it's just the theory part, so it's fine. But when we go to portal, when we start clicking options, you will not understand it. If you're serious about the course, if you want to learn something step by step, please make sure that you attend it on your laptop or at least on a tab, at least a 10-inch tab where you can see some options. Your phone is not going to help you. Okay, so let's start. Do you guys have any questions here in public cloud?
No.
Okay, so let's start about with private cloud now. What is private cloud? Okay, still people are joining. Wait 2 minutes. We'll wait for a minute, guys. People are still joining. And meanwhile, guys, wanted to tell you one thing that in previous batch also I've got this feedback, and इस वाले में भी already मिल गया है. So just because I I'm not sure how am I sounding it to you guys. Am I too loud, too strict or rude type? But nothing like that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Right? I keep on making jokes. You guys feel free. और टेंशन वाला माहौल नहीं चाहिए ट्रेनिंग में. ओके, यहाँ कोई मिलिट्री का ट्रेनिंग नहीं हो रहा है. So we are learning from each other. Jokes and everything is completely fine. It's just when I'm in flow, तो वो won't be possible कि यार मैं joke करता बैठूं, right? But that is completely fine. I don't get offended. ऐसा कुछ ये नहीं है कि यार आप इतना formal हो गए, कुछ बोलोगे भी नहीं, पूछोगे भी नहीं. That is that won't help you. Okay? I try to be casual, but this is how I sound and this is how I deliver training. So when I go in that flow, वो हो जाता है. वो थोड़ा सा strict type का लगता होगा. So don't take it personally. कोई भी किसी के लिए भी, right? And feel free. थोड़ा सा casual माहौल बनाओ class में, तो you will learn it and you will feel free to ask questions. That is the main aim here. I already got feedback. किसी से that person wanted to ask something, but यार he was hesitating या थोड़ा सा डर type का लग रहा है ये वो. So do not have that in your mind. And no question is silly question. किसी भी तरह का question है ना mind में, so do ask it. Okay, so let's start. Someone has muted. Isak, you have any question?
No, no, Solvay. No, no.
I'll mute you then.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, we discussed now what is public cloud. I hope you understood it well. What is it? Now the private cloud. But the private cloud is where the resources and hardware is used dedicatedly by one company or one tenant. Okay, now it could be private cloud में भी थोड़ा सा confusion है. Private cloud, it could be that this is let's say that I have a company and I want to host my resources on cloud. Now either I could have my own cloud or I can approach a cloud provider but tell them that I want this section of yours for myself. Here we were just talking about a machine. यहाँ पर जो हम बात कर रहे थे, the hardware is shared with multiple companies, and then I gave you an example, okay, that you can ask for a dedicated hardware and that will be your. But here you can ask for a complete section. That will be your private cloud. Is it clear? Or you can approach a company to
Yes, sir.
host the cloud on your premises also. So there are some company, but not big companies I'm talking about, maybe small companies, and they'll come and then host the cloud on your premises also. You have very crucial data. You don't want to leave your data out of your premises. You can ask them to hold. But what does it mean then? अभी आपके premises पे, then how is it cloud for you? How is it cloud for you? It's again same approach. You are not responsible for hardware and anything, nothing. That is a cloud company. They are responsible for that. Okay, you're just using the internet services. Okay, a private cloud are mostly used by government agencies and financial corporations. Mostly by government agencies and financial corporations. It's more flexible, more control, and more scalability. Why more? More control because you have that completely for you. You can request them that this kind of hardware I want. एक अलग तरीका से मतलब customization you can do it. but उसका charges भी ज़्यादा होता है. And it's clearly mentioned here that mostly government agencies and financial corporation, they will use it. So when you start working, you will hardly see it unless you're working for some project like let's say you are working for some company, IBM, TCS, etc., Sybase, वगैरह, and they have a huge client like World Bank or uh, IMF वगैरह, उस तरह का कोई cloud होता है, and then you will get to see this uh, private cloud, or if they are working for any government project. But if that is not the case, you are working for Sybase, IBM, and IBM's client or Sybase's client is some other company, some tech company, some telecom company, uh, Verizon or something, they won't bother about a private cloud. So you won't get to see private cloud much. But it doesn't matter, is it a private cloud or public cloud? Once you are in cloud, उसके सारी चीजें वैसे ही होती है. So don't worry about that. Private cloud में कुछ भी अलग से नहीं होगा. Handling, troubleshooting, everything is the same. It is just the model we are talking about. And the hybrid cloud, it's a combination of your public cloud and your private cloud. Hybrid cloud could be that I want to keep my all servers. Okay, I want to keep my servers. These servers, I want to keep it in public cloud. I want to keep it on Azure because it is cheap when it comes to Azure. Fine, I'm okay with that. Networking with them, everything is with them. But the backup storage of the data and the backup of the data, I want to keep that on my either on premises or my cloud. So that is the hybrid model. The hybrid is a combination of public and private cloud. Okay. So few resources like compute can be hosted on cloud and DB on premises. Are you getting it, guys? This is cost efficient in some manner, and it is obviously more secure. Other than security, guys, what could be the reason for hybrid cloud? Can you think and let me know? This is not the only example of cloud. Okay, this is the new application is going. But there are companies जो already, same example, let's say Swiggy जब बना था, maybe they did not have cloud, maybe they did not have this liberty, so they spend their money, उन्होंने सब कुछ कर लिया, now they are working and now the cloud is in market and they also want to approach cloud. So this could be a case. One case could be new onboarding and one could be migration, जहाँ पे existing चीजों को आप migrate करते हो, and that is the क्रूशल टॉपिक ऑफ आर ट्रेनिंग. ज्यादा फोकस हम माइग्रेशन पे ही करने वाले. इंटरव्यू पे 15 मिनट्स माइग्रेशन पे ही पूछ लेते हैं, काम में 60% माइग्रेशन ही करते हो आप. ओके, सो अ कंपनी हु इज ऑलरेडी देयर लाइक some airline, Air Arabia, they have 40,000 servers, on premises servers, and now they want to move to cloud. That could be the case. It's not always a new company which is going to cloud. So I was asking, could you give me the hybrid cloud model? Other than security, what could be the reason? I mean, I sort of already gave you the answer. Just wanted to see if you guys understood that. What could be the other reason of hybrid cloud, or what could be the other scenario of hybrid cloud?
Is it the mixture of both public and private?
Yes, that is the definition. The question here is, what could be the scenario that where you will have public and private? One
So
scenario is I
basically,
want a
like
security.
banks. So basically, banks keep the data on their private cloud, like in on
That is already
data
done.
centers, and
That example is already
okay.
here. Another example I'm talking about.
Sohail, there could be some applications that are not compatible with the newer versions of, some legacy applications that are there, which are not compatible with the new cloud, the new OS. So that could be one of the reasons that banks or other companies would want to, have their own servers.
Right, that could be. That is also correct. That is one of the correct answers. Another one could be that
Data
the
backup.
legacy application. Sorry?
Data backup.
Backup is already done. We discussed here. Okay, I want my data DB and everything here. That example is done. One scenario could be legacy applications. Though cloud also has something for legacy applications, still I do not want to touch that application. It's very crucial and I don't want to get into the cloud hassle. I'm keeping it on my on premises. Another example, guys, could be the same example which I shared right now. An existing business, an airline, they have 40,000 servers on-prem. They have purchased those 40,000 servers. Now, just because they want to go to cloud, do you think they will throw away their 40,000 servers? Should they do that? So what they will do, out of those 40,000 servers, they will see how many of them are out of warranty. And now they realize that 10,000 are out of warranty. So we have to purchase them again, either purchase the warranty or replace it and get a new server. So that time what they will think, okay, now let's not replace these 10,000 servers. Let's spin these 10,000 servers on cloud. Let's have these 10,000 servers on cloud. But what about remaining 30,000 which are already working fine? The company will say, no, let them be as it is. I'm not throwing my 30,000 servers. That's a huge financial loss, right? So this could be the way. So the 10,000 servers where I had to spend money to purchase extended warranty or to replace them, instead of purchasing there, and now I'm investing in cloud. But 30,000 servers which are working fine, I'm not touching them. Plus any new server requirement which I'll be requiring, which I'll be needing, I'll go to cloud. So 10,000 plus anything which is coming as a new request, that will go to cloud. But 30,000 servers which are already there, those will stick to my data center, on-prem data center. Okay, and gradually and slowly out of those 30,000, let's say next 6 months, 5,000 more they need to be retired and new servers needs to be purchased. So they'll say, okay, retire these 5,000, again go ahead and host 5,000 servers on Azure. So gradually we will move all servers, but this plan takes years, maybe a decade. Okay, 25-40,000 servers, it's not a joke. It takes a decade. You will see that kind of projects also. I'm not sure if someone here from okay, let's not take company's name, but there are projects जो 10-10 साल के भी planning के साथ चलते हैं. So did you get the scenario? That could be a scenario where a client is already there and then you're moving their servers, you're migrating their servers from on-prem to cloud. So you will not move all those 40,000 servers at a time. You will move gradually. तो जब तक ये 5 साल का जो project है, तब तक what kind of deployment model are you using?
Hybrid.
Hybrid. Let's say after
Okay,
5
Sohail,
years. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you just explain it once again, please? It was a bit difficult to understand, especially for me. Can you just explain it once again, please?
Anyone else who did not understand, guys?
Can you just brief about private again? Like I was a bit shy to ask at first.
Okay. Private is nothing. In the same public cloud, you're asking for a chunk. See, two types of private. By the way, don't get tensed about it. इतना detail में वैसे ही कोई नहीं पूछने वाला आपसे. This is first class, and I want your basics to be very clear. The maximum they're gonna do in interview. What are the deployment models? You will read this, and that's it. इस question पे ज़्यादा time कोई नहीं spend करने वाला है. But still, we'll explain it. Let's say this is your public cloud. And this is your company. This is your firm. Now you are using services, you are taking servers and everything on rent via internet. This is a public cloud. Okay. One of the examples of private cloud could be, and in the same public cloud, as you are asking for a dedicated hardware, now instead of dedicated hardware, you are asking for a chunk, a proper chunk. This chunk, I want this one on my name. My name is in rent. This is dedicated to rent given to firm A. Now, whatever server and everything is there, that will only belong to firm A, only this one. This is also a sort of, you can say, private cloud. Okay. Another way of private cloud, I'll approach the same company. I'll ask them, can you come here and build, this is my premises. Can you come here and build a server, a data center here completely? And I'll use it directly using my intranet. But handling this, repairing, changing hardware and everything, that still lies to the cloud one. That is a public cloud. Sorry, that is a private cloud. This can be a private cloud. This can be also a private cloud. Clear? Who uses this
Yes,
mostly?
clear.
Most of the time, either government organization like army and defense and everyone, finance ministry, they will never ever going to put their data in public cloud. They will always ask them to build everything on their premises and handle it there. Clear?
So basically infra is managed by single user company only, right?
Yes. That is your public private. Now hybrid, it's a combination of these that I have both of these, and I'm keeping my data something here, some here, or some here. And even if this is not there, maybe I have my on-prem, my own data center. My own data center I have. Okay, this is not handled by anyone. I have my own data center, and I have these 40,000 servers here. Now I'm planning to move these 40,000 servers to a private cloud or public cloud, anywhere. Okay. So I will not move all these 40,000 servers at a time. Possibly नहीं है. Here I'll do some calculation. ये 40 में से 10,000 जो है ये already retire हो रहे हैं. Or maybe I have to spend some money on this. इनका RAM बढ़ाना है या इसकी warranty बढ़ानी है. So what I'm saying, okay, let's decommission these servers and spin these servers or have these servers, these 10,000 servers here. यहाँ पर नए बना लो आप लोग server. So now I'm again with 40,000 servers, but what is the status now? 30,000 on my premises and 10,000 on cloud here. Now again, it could be this cloud or this cloud, it doesn't matter, but this is the hybrid model. And gradually, जहाँ जैसे जैसे ये servers खत्म होते जाएंगे, I will decommission it from here and I'll start moving them here. And whichever a new request comes, so the new request, instead of going a new request to my on-prem data center, a new request will always go here. That I'm planning to install, I'm planning to launch a new service and I require some servers for that. So instead of creating those servers here, now I will create everything in public. So moving existing data center, moving existing servers and creating new on your public cloud. And simultaneously, you have your old data center also. It is a huge data center. Migrating this completely will take 5 years. तो ये जो पूरा 5 साल में operation चल रहा है, this is called hybrid operation, because you have your team here also, you have your footprint on cloud also. Once this is completely moved, then you will be on public cloud. Then you will be here. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, clear.
So
Yes.
any kind of
Yes, Soil,
combination,
clear.
any kind of combination is your hybrid cloud. Okay. Should we move ahead with this one? Types of services, or anyone has any question with this one? Deployment model clear है सबके लिए?
Yes, very clear.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Yeah. So make sure you read what is cloud. You make sure you remember that what are the deployment models, and then we will discuss the types of services or service model. Now we will be talking about only. Now we are done with the service model, right? We are done with the hybrid and everything. Now we are just talking about public cloud. Now everything is coming to public cloud. Okay, this public cloud still can be Azure, AWS, anything, but we are focusing on Azure. Okay, we are focusing on Azure, and we are discussing public cloud. Okay, now forget this. Now don't get confused. के यहाँ पर कुछ होगा, वहाँ पर कुछ होगा. Everything we are talking about, it is here. Okay, on public cloud. So now infrastructure. Yes.
Like I noticed that every time you kind of mention that we are talking about Azure, right?
Mhm.
Now I understand there are many of the concepts which will be common between the major three products which you mentioned earlier.
Right.
But what I'm not able to understand is that there might be some difference, right?
Hmm.
So are we going to talk about those in the future or no?
Yeah, I'll show you. For example, that we have virtual machine and Azure. So what do you have in AWS? I'll tell you, but I'm not going to teach you that what is there in AWS. Then that will be a
Right.
different class, a multi-cloud class that we.
But
cannot-
how Azure is different from those? We will be learning those things, right?
To be very honest, you don't even have to learn that. If you're going for an Azure
Okay.
administrator, no one is going to ask you to, explain something from AWS, explain something from GCP. No one is going to ask you. They are going to ask you anything and everything related to Azure. No one
Cool,
is going
cool.
to ask you that. Yes, but for
Cool.
your understanding, I'll show it to you. But I'm not going to show it
Okay.
to you on a AWS or GCP. Maximum thing what I can tell you that, okay, we have virtual machine here in Azure. So similar thing we have in AWS, which is called EC2. Similar thing which we have in GCP, which is called instance. This kind of information, like Azure storage we are going to discuss. So when it comes to AWS, they have S3 buckets. But now what are S3 buckets? We are not going to discuss that. That is not feasible or
Okay.
practical. We have to
Okay.
focus on Azure only because we are talking about we are focusing and we will be giving interviews for Azure. So no one is going to ask you
Got it.
AWS and GCP questions. But there will
Got
be a
it. Got
time, yes, you will require that. If you have to survive, you
it.
cannot say that I am only an Azure guy. But you understand
Mhm.
Azure very well. When you go to AWS, you will understand things very easily. It is just matter of naming convention and few clicks here
Okay.
and there. The concept is same. So I'll be explaining Azure to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's discuss, guys, the service model. Now, what are the service model? Remember this very well. They may ask you sometimes, and most of the time they do ask for freshers. Experience के लिए भी कभी कभार पूछ ही लेते हैं. Okay. So now we have three types of service model or types of services, you can say. We have one is infrastructure as a service. Sometimes they read it IaaS or IaaS. I don't know how to pronounce that. I stick with infrastructure as a service. Then we have PaaS, platform as a service. Then we have SaaS, software as a service. So now before I explain, could someone please read the definition of infrastructure as a service?
I'll read Sohail.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mosmi, please.
Yeah. So IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. Here you rent infrastructure server like servers, VMs, storage, network, or the OS from cloud provider as on pay as you go model. For example, a virtual data center.
yeah, platform as a service. This supplies on demand environment for testing, developing, managing applications. Platform as service is to make developer jobs easier to focus on product without worrying about the step infrastructure, storage, network, DB, etc. Access to dashboard to upload your application like function, app, and app services.
Great. So guys, do you realize that even if you know how hard it is to explain when it comes to interview, now it is open in front of you, you're reading it, right? So it's easy. This is just a class. When it comes to interview, a question, a simple question like this, इसमें भी answer कभी कभार नहीं कर पाते because you're not confident or you have not read it well, right? होता है ऐसा. That is the reason I'm asking you to practice it a lot here. यहाँ पर आप गलत पढ़ो, कुछ भी पढ़ लो, doesn't matter. But more you practice, the better you will be able to speak in your interview. Yes, anyone wants to read SaaS?
Yes,
Yes,
can I?
I'll do.
Yeah, Murtaza, please go ahead.
Okay. SaaS, software as a service. It is a method for delivering software applications over the internet. It usually works on web browsers. Maintenance, upgrade, patching, etc. are taken care by the cloud provider. Example is Google Drive.
Okay, guys, better. So now here, guys, before I start explaining this, let me quickly tell you one thing and remember this thing, that if you are using SaaS model, by default, PaaS and infrastructure as a service is covered. If you are using PaaS, infrastructure is already covered. If you're using only infrastructure, then you're using only infrastructure. This is how I can explain it. Can you see the diagram below?
Yes.
Did you understand what
Yes.
did I say?
Yes.
Anyone who did not understand the
Yes.
sentence or the explanation?
Can you just repeat the sentence once again, please?
Okay, I'm saying that if you are using SaaS, which is software as a service, so under software as a service, platform is a part of that already. If you are using SaaS, so let's say the platform is already there. And if you're using PaaS, let's say the infrastructure is already there. So if you're using software as a service, platform as a service, उसका हिस्सा अपने आप है. Infrastructure as a service, उसका हिस्सा अपने आप है. Is it clear?
Yes.
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 Can
Anyone
you
has
zoom in
doubt?
a little bit on the image?
Are you using phone? because I am using 24 inches display and I think it's pretty visible unless you're using a phone. Who was that, by the way? Murtaza, is it
Me,
Murtaza?
Murtaza.
Are you
Yeah,
using
yeah.
phone, Murtaza bhai?
No, no, I am actually, I have a small screen laptop, so it's
Acha.
not properly
By the
visible.
way, guys, this is already shared with you. If you are not able to see it here, आप अपने screen पे भी open कर सकते हैं, ऐसे कोई big task नहीं है. By the way, I see. This is what I'm talking about. You wanted to read this or you wanted to see this picture? Which part do you
Just the
want?
picture, just the picture.
Okay, here it is.
You'll be explaining the picture again, right?
Yeah, I'm explaining everything.
Okay, okay.
Still, you guys can have a look at first. So I'm saying that when you're using SaaS, PaaS उसका already हिस्सा है. If you're using PaaS, infrastructure उसका already हिस्सा है. Clear? This picture at least?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So just to give an example of this, if I go to Netflix or maybe
So basically, like in software as a service, we can say like user can subscribe to any services and can use that application.
yes, sort of, you can say.
Okay.
Okay. So not
Hi
sure if this
there,
is
it's
the correct.
Wasim.
Yes, Wasim bhai.
Yeah, it's just a high level question. What is the high level difference between Azure Cloud and AWS Cloud?
To be very honest, there's nothing other than prices, other than services. If I give you an example of one good service, let's say that my project has a requirement of if my project has requirement of Mac for some reason, okay, could be any reason. I'm developing I'm developing an application where I require Mac. So Azure Cloud doesn't have Mac, but AWS has Mac. So I'll go ahead and use AWS. So there are services, few services are there in AWS, कुछ है जो Azure में नहीं है. So that completely depends on you. And there's one more factor to it, but we are yet to come to that. Regions. Let's say that you want to work in UAE. Azure UAE में है, AWS नहीं है. Right? So this sort of differences we have. Other than that, almost सारी services दोनों same provide करते हैं. Pricing का difference obviously होगा. But when it comes to Microsoft, you will have some benefits. Because most of the data centers and everything you see, Microsoft इतना huge corporation है that without Microsoft you won't see anything. आप dependency इतनी है Microsoft पे, you'll see Teams, you'll see SQL database, you'll see Windows, and you'll see everything. So when you go with Azure, Microsoft says कि okay आपके पास already आप Windows use कर रहे थे, okay come to me and I won't charge you for licenses because you already have licenses from me. You go to AWS, AWS will not be able to use your existing licenses. AWS आपको पूरा का पूरा मशीन चार्ज करेगा विथ लाइसेंस. दिस वन, ये जो मंथली चार्ज हम लोग बात कर रहे थे यहाँ पर, दिस इज विथ लाइसेंस. लाइसेंस का भी इसमें कॉस्ट ले लिया है. But when you go to Azure and you tell Azure that I am already using Microsoft services and I have licenses for them, I'm just moving them from on-prem to Azure Cloud. So Azure will say, okay, fine, you already have license, so let me give you another discount. I can do it for you for, let's say that 1900 rupees. I can do this for you. So this kind of differences you have. दोनों के अपने अपने pro and cons हैं. The more we learn Azure, more you will understand कि AWS में क्या missing है, Azure में क्या missing है. Clear?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So this is how I was explaining, guys. I'm not sure if this is the very good idea to explain it to you. That if you're taking free, you're not getting anything out of this other than screen one screen you can watch and video quality HD. Okay. But if you take VIP, तो यहाँ पर सब पे टिक है, which means you already get this. इसमें कुछ ऐसा होता ना तो ये भी यहाँ पर मिल जाता आपको. For example, under VIP you are not getting this English show and Disney originals. But when you go to premium, तो premium के जो अपने features है वो आपको मिलेंगे. For example, screens. 2 screens you can watch and you can watch in full HD. But do I have to separately mention it कि यहाँ पर मैंने full HD मिला है तो आपको HD भी मिलने वाला है? The moment I say here full HD, which means you are already getting HD. If your device is supporting only HD, not full HD, तो आपको HD मिलने ही वाला है. If your device supports full HD, well and good. पर अगर HD भी support करता तो HD भी मिल ही रहा है यहाँ पर. यहाँ पर English plus dubbed मिल रहा है. यहाँ पर only dubbed मिल रहा है. यहाँ पर English मिल रहा है आपको. But because you're going for the higher subscription, तो इसके जितने features हैं आपको exactly वैसे मिलने वाले हैं. Same thing I was explaining here. That if you're using SaaS, तो PaaS के जितने सर्विसेज है वो ऑलरेडी उसमें कवर हो रहे हैं. if you're using PaaS, infrastructure के जितने services है वो already cover हो रहे हैं. And infrastructure is the least service you can use. Infrastructure से कम कोई service आप use नहीं कर सकते हो. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, got it.
Yes,
Okay.
got it.
Naved has put a question here stating.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
So Naved has put a question here stating, is Azure Cloud a SaaS? Every cloud is SaaS, every cloud is infrastructure, every cloud is PaaS. It's not only Azure, GCP and AWS. This model type of service, it is available in all clouds. Now let me explain it to you, maybe it will clear your doubt. So it's nothing like that कि Azure infrastructure है, AWS platform है, GCP SaaS है. No, that is not the case. Azure has all three models, AWS has all three models, GCP has all three models. Is that doubt clear? Don't get confused
Yes.
between this. It's nothing like that Azure has this, AWS has this. No, all clouds, they have infrastructure model, they have platform as a service model, they have software as a service model. Now let me explain it to you, and then maybe you will understand. We have only 6 minutes left, guys. I'll try to finish this topic. If not, we'll continue this tomorrow. Okay, cloud service model I'm typing here. And guys, you can also do these services. Okay, you can also do these research when you have time. So when I say, forget this on premises, okay, or okay, let's discuss the on premises also. Now when I say that I have on premises, so I am responsible for everything. On the moment I say on premises, यहाँ पर वो Swiggy वाला example याद कर लो. I'm responsible for purchasing 100 servers. I'm responsible for data center. I'm responsible for AC. I'm responsible for security guy. I'm responsible for the security dog. I'm responsible for ISP. I'm responsible for fire and everything, anything and everything. I am responsible here for this. Okay, is it clear? This is on premises. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
When I say
Yes,
on
sir.
premises, these are the legacies of this one which we are
Yes.
using. Okay, the blue color explains here the things which you are responsible for, which you manage. Here, can you see? You manage. You as an Azure administrator. Okay, so when it is for on premises, you manage everything. You as a not single person. Okay, you cannot deal with application data, runtime, middleware, every OS virtualization. No, but you as in your company, you are responsible for everything. The moment I go to infrastructure as a service, okay, then what I manage here is application, it's data, it's runtime, middleware, and operating system. Then what my provider is managing? Networking. I mean, do I have to worry about it? Koi network cable चूहा खा गया? No, that is not my concern. Azure will take care of. Do I have to worry about a storage? कि storage कम पड़ गया, ज़्यादा हो गया, full हो गया, backup नहीं हो रहा है? No, Azure will take care of it. Do I have to worry about servers? Server down हो गया, RAM हो गया, the example which we were discussing last time. No, Azure will take care of that. Do I have to worry about the virtualization? The example which I was giving, that there is a server of 128 GB, you have to divide it 64, 32, 16, 16. Do you have to worry about that? No. Who will do that? Azure will do that. Okay, Azure or any public cloud, but we will be discussing only Azure. What we have to do here, we just have to give them that I want a network, this kind of network. I want a storage of 500 GB. I want 3 servers. That's all you have to tell them. Now, how to manage that? It is their requirement. Azure will give you 3 servers. That's all. They will take care of everything. Now, what are you responsible for? Now, when I say infrastructure and when I say Azure has given you a server, let me show it to you. What Azure over the internet, what Azure has given you is only this much, this server. ये सर्वर जो है ना, फिजिकल सर्वर, इसके एक पोर्शन का हिस्सा इसको वर्चुअलाइज कर लिया. 128 GB का था, आपको आधा चाहिए था, आपने ले लिया, उसको वर्चुअलाइज करके इसका इंटरनेट एक्सेस आपको दे दिया. नाउ दिस इज व्हाट इज इट एग्जैक्टली गाइस? आई टोल्ड यू प्रिसाइसली ये क्या है. एक इज इट सर्वर? इज इट सर्वर बाय द वे? व्हाट इज इट प्रिसाइसली इन टेक्निकल टर्म?
Server model.
Server class hardware.
server
It is a
class
hardware.
hardware.
तो
Yes.
what Azure did, Azure ने आपको इसका access दे दिया, इस पर server नहीं दिया Azure ने. Now it is your job to install server on that. So that when it comes to infrastructure as a service, वहां से आपकी responsibility शुरू होती है. Okay, you are responsible to install operating system on that. You can take it from Azure. You can ask Azure कि I want operating system, but उसको install करना your responsibility. कि आपको Windows 11 चाहिए, Windows 10 चाहिए, Windows 2019 चाहिए, Windows XYZ चाहिए, Windows ABC चाहिए, data center वाला चाहिए, standard version चाहिए, आपको core चाहिए with desktop facilities चाहिए, whatever you want, it is your responsibility. Middleware, उसके ऊपर आपको सॉफ्टवेयर कौन सा चाहिए, जावा चाहिए, .NET चाहिए, क्या चाहिए, that is your responsibility. SQL चाहिए, नहीं चाहिए, everything it's up to you. उसमें डेटा किस तरह का डेटाबेस चाहिए, it's up to you. You have to decide. Top of that, why do we require a server? Ultimately, we have to run an application. So application also, it is your responsibility. But when you go to platform as a service, networking, operating system, middleware, runtime, everything will be taken care by Azure. You are responsible only for developing your application and your data. Maintain your data, develop your application. That's all. When you take software as a service, everything will be done with them, by them. You just go ahead and use it. Example, Google Cloud. Are you worried कि कभी Google Cloud down हुआ तो आपको कुछ करना पड़ता है? This one, sorry, Google Drive. Google Drive हो गया, Teams हो गया.
No.
You don't have to do anything. You just create your user ID, start using it. Gmail हो गया, ये सारे जो है SaaS है. So guys, we have only 1 minute left. I think you did not understand it well. So tomorrow we'll again start with this one. And if you understood it well, we'll see that tomorrow. I'll share this picture by the way, or you can Google it, or I'll share it in the WhatsApp group, whatever suits you. Only 1 minute is left. I don't think so we'll be able to take any questions. Go through everything. Tomorrow we'll start the session with questions. If you have any questions for today's session, we'll address them tomorrow. We'll discuss this again tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll discuss about the portal and creating account and distributing accounts. That is the agenda for tomorrow. Okay, guys?
No problem, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
See you tomorrow.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll upload the recording to
Thank
YouTube.
you.
Bye.